Welcome back, everyone, and we hope that your afternoon has been so far well spent. We are down to the last part of our program, wherein I would be introducing very important stakeholders to you who have advanced the work of women social entrepreneurs so far. Let me introduce on stage Mr. Rocky Teodoro, Senior Manager for News, and Ms. Jerlyn Petilos, Manager for Industry and Asset Data, both from SNP Global Philippines, to share more about this.
Yeah, thank you, Mel. Good afternoon, everyone. It's been an insightful event so far. So we are SNP Global. I'd like to introduce you to our company. You may have heard about our divisions. So if you read financial news, you've heard about ratings. If you invest and you follow the financial markets, you may have heard of Dow Jones Indices and Market Intelligence. If you deal with commodities and energy, you may have heard of Platts. So S&P Global, what do? We provide essential intelligence that enables companies, governments, and individuals to make essential decisions. So we help with decision making with our data and analysis. Here in the Philippines, we have over 800 employees. So we had 3 delivery centers. We hire talents across all of these functions. As you can see, content operations, client support, market insight, sales, product management, and corporate. And we accelerate progress not only for our clients, but we also walk the talk. So we accelerate progress with our diversity and inclusion initiatives. So over around 60% of our employees are females. So we have a strong push to make our workforce diverse and inclusive. We also have employee resource groups that make sure our thrust for D&I is prominent in our company. So we make sure every employee is well represented in our group. And I'd like to highlight the fact that this year, we were certified officially as a great place to work. So we were one of the first companies to gain this certification in the Philippines. So we were recognized for being a high trust and a high performance workplace. 8 out of 10 employees had a very positive workplace experience in our company. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to my colleague Jerlyn to talk more about our corporate social responsibility programs and initiatives. Jerlyn?
Thank you, Rocky. So one of the key programs that we have is our corporate responsibility and employee volunteer grant activities. Our CR mission in SNP is our essential intelligence powers inclusive, sustainable economies and thriving global communities. We have 3 pillars: bridging the global skills gap, creating an inclusive economy, promoting a sustainable environment. So at SNP, by creating inclusive economies, we expand economic opportunities for the underserved and support advancement of women entrepreneurs. For the past 3 years, we have been working with different women groups, different NGOs in upskilling our underserved women groups, mostly mothers and single mothers. But the past year, we realized that we have to step up and prepare and seek more sustainable programs and workshops, such as Ashoka, to help us in preparing our women entrepreneurs and give them the tools and the skills to prepare them for the future of work.
Thank you, Jerlyn. So I'll share a bit now about the partnership that Ashoka Philippines has and together with SNP Global. And this partnership allowed us to explore how data can be a powerful tool to determine how best to support and further scale up the impact of women social entrepreneurs. And more importantly, how do we get these numbers and these stories from women social entrepreneurs directly? So I hope that you'll have a chance to download and read through the report. And you will see that the research there showed how women social entrepreneurs in the Philippines and across ASEAN were seeking support in three areas. So these are skills building, leadership, and community. And these insights were what gave birth to our online program in the Philippines called Women Together for a Better Normal, which is where we're supporting 40 women social entrepreneurs across the country. As we were designing this program together with Snp Global, the COVID-19 crisis hit. And we saw that it really was a shock for all of us. And we saw that every woman social entrepreneur was affected, whether they had just started their ventures or they were already seasoned entrepreneurs. And these women had to pivot their organizations and their lives due to the pandemic. So we set out to create a program that could respond quickly and provide a combination of the skills building sessions. So these were things like design thinking, agile project management, and the leadership building, which focuses on things like empathy and leadership, systems change, and scenario planning analysis. But the third thing, which we realized was perhaps the most important piece, was that to be able to build safe spaces and trust-based communities of support for women social entrepreneurs. And one of the joys of the work that we do here in Ashoka is this process that we go through of finding and supporting social innovators across all fields of social change, so from health and human rights to livelihood and the environment. So we applied this same search process as we were curating this group of 40 women social entrepreneurs. And we hope to continue to collaborate with the wider ecosystem of partners in this space, as we know that many of you are already leading the way in engaging women and empowering women social entrepreneurs. So we're also leveraging the resources and the knowledge of partners in the Ashoka Global community, as our participants will be able to use things like the platforms. One example is the platform by Bridge for Billions. And we're also learning amazing tools that they can use in their work and with their teams. And one example of this is we're collaborating with Tribeless. So we're more than happy and honored to welcome these 40 amazing Filipina women social entrepreneurs. In fact, many of them are online with us today. And these are women who are working with the intention of not just going forward into a new normal, but building a better one for all. So I'll turn you over now to Mel so she can share a little bit more about what this community looks like and give you a sense of its diversity.
Thank you, Terry. So as you have mentioned, Terry, there have been a great process in selecting these women. And right now we have 40 dynamic women who comprise our pioneer cohort. Let me tell you a little bit of how we curated this with diversity in mind. So if you would notice, there is a good distribution among these women across different aspects. So organization stage, organization type, organization age, women social entrepreneur age, their location of impact, and also the industry that they are affecting. While majority of our women social entrepreneurs are about 2 to 3 years young, we also have seasoned WSE spanning decades of work and even budding new ones who are even less than a year old. That's really amazing because some of them are actually COVID initiatives. Almost 60 to 40 ratio, our WSEs are aged 18 to 35 and 36 to 60 years old respectively. Their work cuts across 16 different sectors, and they are well distributed across the Philippines archipelago. 50% of them are from Luzon, and the other half is divided among Visayas, Mindanao, and nationwide. So actually, this pioneer cohort and the journey that we've been having has only begun in July. Yet we have already seen different connections and different relationships that only other women could provide. Like how we reflected and imagine the future to be, where women are able to support and mentor each other. The pioneer cohort, which you can see on screen, seems to already be living in that present. We took certain screenshots of their messages and all the comments that they have. So there are misuse, there are great dreams, there are even messages like, I'm not alone, please help me. These are even testaments that the program is the first step to actually creating inclusive economies. One member even wrote as a feedback, there is a specific brand of peace and security you feel from a group of women explicitly supporting one another. And I think that's very amazing for just a program that just started in July. So our learning journey began in July, and it will only last until October. But the connections that they have formed, we believe, will go beyond the program can ever imagine. Now that we have given you an overview of S&P Global's first steps, we know that it is but a drop in the bucket. Our next panel takes us into a deeper conversation about what can further be done by different stakeholders to co-lead this movement. Let me introduce our next panel. Facilitated by Sumitra of Ashoka Global Partnerships, we would be having the following speakers. Karen Ngui from Singapore, Managing Director and Head of Group Strategic Marketing and Communications at DBS Bank Limited. Datin Kathleen Chu of Malaysia. She is the Group Legal Counsel of YTL and board member of the Asia Philanthropy Circle. And lastly, we have Steve Ree from Indonesia, Senior Program Officer at Ford Foundation. We listen to these partnerships and collaborations around gender, and we hope that you can take part in our conversations through the chat box.